Cocaine Bear is an actual movie that exists and is playing in theaters now. When a black bear ingests cocaine lost in the woods from a drug deal gone wrong, it wreaks havoc on innocent bystanders in gruesome and bloody ways. Emphasis on the innocent, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So this is a horror comedy directed by Elizabeth Banks, and when it comes to the horror aspect of this movie, I thought it was done decently well. It's not very scary, and the scares are very telegraphed, especially for horror fans that watch a lot of horror movies. I think you're going to see all of these coming from a mile away. Even someone like me who's not a big horror fan, I saw almost every scare coming before it happened. But in her direction, Banks has a lot of fun paying homage and tributes to slasher films of the 80s. Because the Cocaine Bear is very much used as a slasher villain in this film. Even the way that Elizabeth Banks captures the eyes and the face and the aggression and the anger that's in them when it spots its next victim, it's almost chill-inducing. It's very freaky, and it made my theater give the "oh no" every time it happened. However, with the comedy aspect of this movie, I found it pretty weak. Now, there are moments in this film that I did find funny, don't get me wrong. There's a scene taking place at a gazebo with 3 characters that I found to be one of the funniest and best in the film, as well as an ambulance chase that had my theater erupting in laughter. But when I tell you that I found this movie rough with the humor for the majority of the time, I mean it. There was a 40-minute long stretch at the beginning of the film where I didn't even chuckle. It just felt like every joke and every punchline was falling with a whimper, and I noticed that the audience around me, they weren't laughing very much at all either. In fact, it wasn't until closer to the second half of the film that I really started to notice my audience getting into the movie. And that's probably because that's the same amount of time it took to get into the Cocaine Bear ripping these bystanders apart. I mean ripping. There are some gory and nasty kills displayed on the screen, as well as some very nasty looking aftermath. And this is the part of the movie where my biggest problem with Cocaine Bear came into play. Because when it comes to the victims who get killed in this film, Banks makes a decision to make these pretty innocent, nice, and just decent people. Most of the people who get torn apart by the Cocaine Bear in this film are just trying to help someone out or just do their job. And because of that, I found it really hard to have fun with that part of the movie because it just felt so distasteful to me. And I understand that it's dark humor, and dark humor can and has worked for me in the past. It absolutely can. But it would be one thing if we were watching drug dealers trying to go and receive these drugs back from the woods, and in the process, they're the ones getting snatched up and bitten to pieces by this bear. But when it's an engaged couple and the fiance gets snatched up and totally ripped apart by this bear, and the film is framing it in a way that it's expecting you to laugh at it, yeah, that just didn't work for me. And I found that the case with many of the kills in this film. They all felt unjust. They all felt gross. And because these kills were so gory and so torturous for these nice people, and the film was expecting me to find this fun and funny and laugh at it, for me, I just couldn't get there. I didn't enjoy that, and it prevented me from having really any fun with this film. But in the end, Cocaine Bear is going to work for some people. I mean, my theater seemed to be having a really good time with it. I definitely felt in the minority sitting in that auditorium. The performances were good. There were some moments that legit had me laughing out loud and that I did have some fun with. But there was this overarching cloud of just mean-spiritedness that was hanging over the film for me that I just didn't like it. I don't want to watch it again. This is my biggest disappointment of 2023 thus far. I am not going to recommend Cocaine Bear. To me, it just made all the wrong choices. But guys, as I mentioned, I am definitely probably in the minority. A lot of people seem to be having a lot of fun with this one, and maybe you're one of them. So have you checked it out? And if you have, comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions, guys. I'd love to hear them. If you're new here, we have a goal for the end of the year. We want to hit 2,500 subscribers. If you enjoyed this video, if you like talking movies, you're definitely in the right place. Consider hitting that subscribe button if you'd like to join us. We'd love to have you. Hit the thumbs up button. It helps us out a lot as well, guys. And I hope to talk to you guys again real soon.